Congratulations, you just got yourself a brand new pair of Daymaker Touring Alpine adapters. I'm going to teach you how to set these up. First, remove the top of the box, place the stickers aside. Pull out the adapters. There should be adapters with bells and heel lugs, and also a spare parts bag. Slide out 4 parts. If you have more questions, you can also visit our tutorials page. And for now, we'll set that aside. Okay, so let's work with just one of these. We'll remove this heel bell, and you can see that there's these flattened sections of the metal and these slots that are at angles. You have to line it up and pull outwards to remove the heel bell. Okay, right now there are 2 slots. This toe is set up on the rear. This is good for the geometry of a Pivot 18 binding from Look or Rossignol, and a couple other bindings on the market. But let's say that I wanted to set it up for something else, like a marker series binding. For that, we're going to shift everything further forwards. So I will remove these bell keepers. They stick in there just from having a larger area right there that catches onto that circle. And now to pull this out, we need to align the stamp section with the slot. And I like to put 2 fingers in there, use my thumb for leverage, and my hand right here. And it's pretty tough to pull this apart because, well, you don't want these to bend while you're touring, so they're made extra strong. Now we're gonna pry them apart, and we'll move it 1 slot forward. So line it up so it goes right through, and then with the same sort of grip, you can pry apart, drop it in there. If you can't do it, maybe you got a stronger friend that can, or you can use a pair of pliers or a screwdriver for extra leverage. We'll pull these back through, pull the tab back through. Now we're set up for your binding. Next, we will remove this blue heel plate, and we're just gonna unthread that, pull out the bolt, unthread this as well. And these were just hand tightened on directly from us to make this part easy. Let's move this aside. Now be really careful when pulling out this bolt to keep the alignment. This one is also lubricated, unlike this, so let's just make a note of that and keep it together there. All right, now I have a 315 millimeter boot sole length, and you can see here that there's all these numbers stamped onto the bottom. They alternate by growing size, so 273 is where we start, and then 276 at here, 280, 284, 288, 291. Now it came with this A pointed up there. My size is a 315. I see a 318 and a 310. That's 318 is going to be way too big, and a 310 is way too small. So if I flip this plate around, this B will now be pointed in this area. I have a 314 and a 321. I want to size the Daymaker slightly smaller than my boot sole length. 314 is slightly smaller than a 315. So I'm going to point it just like this. You know, if we were to choose a different number, let's say we have a 300 BSL, I'd slide it up to the 299 spot. We'll go back to here. So with that in mind, that the B is pointed out here, we will install the heel lug on this A side. To do that, open up the parts bag, empty everything out in a nice safe place, and drop these M3 nuts into place. Okay, now remember, we got the B pointed over and we want to install it on the A side. So we'll line it up with the holes, I like to put a finger on top of the nut and grab a screw. We can just twist that into place at first. Put another one through and just twist it into place so they stay. And again. Now I like to install all of them first for centering purposes before I go ahead and twist them completely tightened down with a screwdriver. Now we will screw these into place with holding pressure on the top. That one's tightened down. Let's get this middle one. That one doesn't really want to go. It's because I tighten it down all the way. All right, now let's try that again. Now it goes real smooth into there. And let's get this last one while holding pressure down. All right, completely tighten this one. And the final. Good to go. Now, while being really careful not to jostle this setup around so you can see a clear hole all the way through, I will line it up to 314. You can see this through hole, and I will place this bolt through and pop it all the way. You can see how now this is flush with the blue surface, and it comes all the way through. The bolt, this is very important, the bolt has gone through this rear linkage as well. So that way it is fixed into place. All right, if this pivot bolt does not go all the way through, this linkage will be flopping around and you'll have no stability at all. Put a washer on. And you just hand tighten that temporarily. Line it up. Put one more bolt through. Thread it on. Now we will tighten all the way down again. Okay, so now these two pivots are completely tightened down. This is our Daymaker, this is how it should move. Now for the boot thing. I've got this set to a 315 BSL. This is made to resemble a ski boot, and it's a cool tool we use here at Daymakers to pre-set up for customers. Take a guess here and just say, I'm gonna try it right here. Slide the boot all the way forwards. And you can see that this is getting in the way. So I've done this way too tight. We'll try back here this time. And too loose. Let's try one slot forwards. Still, it locks on, but there's a lot of play here. It's really easy to push up, and this is moving all around. So it's not quite tight enough. If we go one full slot forwards, rotate it back, toe is all the way forwards, it's sitting flush. And now lock this into here, and that's really tight. Just not gonna work. So here's a trick that we can do. Rotate the bell forwards and just move one arm back. And it's okay that it's offset, it doesn't need to be parallel, but what this does is give you a in-between sizing to help get you that perfect fit. And now, you hear that? That is the correct snap, indicating a perfect fit. All right, this boot is locked on really tight now. This isn't going anywhere. You are perfectly sized and ready to go with your Daymaker.